I'm Mike Bonnici. I'm a glazier, do a bit of window making. Yeah, I know, a lot of people do think I'm a full-time fisherman, but I'm more of a weekend warrior. We left Sydney early and drove up first thing in the morning. When pretty much by the time we got there, everyone was getting off the water because the wind had picked up, and they were looking at me going, "You're a nut job." Yeah, we ended up jigging a few small kings. They're not ideal when the water's 26, 27 degrees. It's sort of yeah, it can be tough fishing for them. So, but we still caught a few small ones, had a bit of fun, and hooked up the mackerel, which, you know, I was up on the front. It was quite wild. I was running around the back. I had to get down. It was pretty fun. Ended up getting down the back and got it under control, and yeah, we were probably drifting at 4 knots with all that wind, and just, yeah, it was a bit of a good fight. It was doing big circles under the boat. I ended up popping up, and that was a nice mackerel, well hooked. We were very lucky because it's 50-50 whether you get cut off generally, and especially in that weather and small lures. And I didn't crush my barbs, which I normally always do, and I make sure everyone does, but it was such a tough bite, I thought I'll leave the barbs on. Drove down the coast a bit, got out there, water was very hot again. Went out, we caught some bait straight away. Tried to chase a cobia or a jewfish, and yeah, everything we seemed to hook just got monstered by these big sharks, and they weren't coming up either. So they tested out the gear really well actually. We were snapping hooks on them, yeah, giving them a good workout. So I got fed up with sharks, and we were just marking them on the sounder, and you can just tell they were not leaving us alone. So we decided to pull the boat out of the water, drive a couple more hours south, and sort of try another location for the afternoon. Yeah, which ended up paying off really well. We sort of weather started to back out. It was quite a nice afternoon. We got some bait, tried to catch a kingy or a dewie as well, and yeah, we got a couple of small kingfish. And we got a nice dewie as well, so that was a bonus. We thought we'd have a quick crack in the morning. Yeah, first cast, about 15 kilo kingfish. And Steve was screaming, "I'm on!" He's like, "Mike, get down and help me." Nah, he did good. He gets very nervous because he's lost a lot there, and it's all do or die. And he had the light grappler. He had a P5 grappler, and to do it on that's a pretty good effort. It's sort of on the top water, so yeah, he was stoked. I'm stoked. I don't care who catches fish. I was happy that anyone catches fish. So then anyway, we just went back and had another last drift. We sort of thought we'll go have another quick cast, and Jack wanted to catch a snapper. I said, "Oh, there's plenty of snapper." And next minute, his line's screaming off too fast. He's like, "Oh, this is not a snapper." And then towards the end of the fight, I'm going, "That's a snapper." And then he goes, "Yeah, nice big red popped up." And yeah, last 5 years probably been top water fishing. Big kings are definitely my favourite, and they definitely get me probably the most nervous or anxiety. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, they definitely get the shakes going when you hook a big one of them. Big mackerel, wahoo, anything that will eat top water is pretty fun. It's always good, the visual. I think like any type of fishing with that sort of stuff, everything has to be 100%, because you're pushing all your gear, like especially with kingfish, they'll push everything, every boundary, hooks, lures, line. It's got to be no weak link in the chain. I re-tie knots if I even think there's going to be a doubt, because some days we only have one bite the whole day, and some days you have no bites. It's pretty common, but it's just a type of fishing. I'd rather sort of sacrifice catching fish that I'm not that interested in anymore, like snapper. Not that I'm not interested in snapper, I really like them, but I'm just, yeah, I sort of really like catching a big top water king does it for me. So they're pretty explosive. They sort of come out of nowhere. Sometimes during the day it's good, you can see them, especially when a big pack comes up, it's pretty cool. But yeah, when you see a pack of 15, 20 kilo fish all over your lure, and then you're just thinking which one's going to eat it, and you know they're going to eat when they're generally in 20 sort of size school. But otherwise, yeah, they can do anything. They can slurp it. To be honest, most of the big fish you catch, you barely see them. They just come up and suck off the surface. That's what I've seen. You know they're a better fish because they're a lot more powerful and just slower and a bit longer fighting. And so Shimano asked us to test out a couple of the new Stellas and the Grappler rods. They gave us a 10,000 PG and a 14,000 XG, and two of the jigging rods, a P4 and an 8, and a P5 and a 8 in the casting rods. It has to be best drags. That's probably the best thing. Smooth drag, best rods, and the best rods to work the lures too, not just because they're powerful. I mean, a powerful rod's almost can be useless, but in some aspects. The Oshia plugger range and the Grappler range have been my choice for the last couple of years since they've been out. And I think I've had Stellas for as long as I can remember, since the FAs, the blue ones, which we call it Spanish mackerel, we call it kingfish. On both the casting rods, we caught jewfish and snapper. And so that pretty much gave them a good run. It's been a tough weekend. I would say I'm pretty rough with my gear. I like to keep everything in my side pockets so they cop a fair bit of boat rash and just constant salt water that pours on them. Because I mean, when you're casting especially, everything has to be laid flat, otherwise you're going to snap rods. So I had this built 5 years ago now. It's a 21 foot 620, a Sea Devil 620. I've had pretty much Sea Devils almost all my boating. I think my first one was built in 03. Since I've had a 21, it's sort of a boat that can do everything. You can sleep on it, you can trailer it everywhere, it's not too heavy, it's not too small. You can fish 4 people comfortably. Game fishing, sports fishing, I cast off the front deck. It's got a better deck than, I mean, if you've got good balance, you've got a good casting deck, you know, better than most centre consoles. I've been running Evinrude for, I think I bought my first one in 06. Pretty much haven't not run anything else. This one's been amazing. Like, so much power. I've got 1,700 hours on it at the moment. Yeah, no, it's great. So I run a couple of Evo 3s, a 12 and a 16, through a S5100 on a transom mount T275, high-low. And pretty much without that, it's hard work. You can tell, or once you learn how to use them, and like anything, once you work out what depth you're in and what arches are what, it's pretty easy. Marlin fishing especially has been a game changer for me in the last couple of years. So getting into topwater fishing it can be expensive, and it's addictive, and it's great. Like, there's nothing better we have days where it's dead, but you always think about the days that you've had where it's been going off, and that's what drives you to fish those dead days. And occasionally, a lot of the time we've seen, oh, you don't get fish in this temperature, you don't get fish in that, but because I've done it for so long, we've caught fish in everything. Good water, bad water, you know, over the years. So that sort of drives you through the bad days when you think the water's too cold, too dirty, too rough. At the end of the day, you pay for what you get. And that's generally the general rule with top water too. So if you've got the Stellas, you can't really upgrade.